So I get a lot of questions on starting the Pacific Crest Trail, the Arizona Trail, the Continental Divide Trail at the Mexican border. And, things have changed a lot since I've done them. The Pacific Crest Trail, of course, did have a wall. But now the Arizona Trail has a wall. The Continental Divide Trail has a wall. Billions of dollars worth of wall. And you would think that that would reduce the number of border patrol that are in those areas, but that's not the case. Actually, when I did the Continental Divide Trail in '99, there was border patrol, but basically going across the Playa Valley in the boot heel of New Mexico, I'd have a INS helicopter fly over me once a day, and they'd just say, "Oh, that's that crazy guy with the bright yellow Himalayan backpack that I had bought from Fred Bear in 1971. It's not like I was trying to hide and sneak across the border. It looked like a great big caution light on my back. But today down there, and I've watched it over the last 20 years because I spend a lot of time down there, it's like an armed camp with all kinds of infrared equipment, helium blimps that are watching radar. I don't know how anybody gets through there. When I did the Arizona Trail, I did 20 miles the first day up Miller Peak and down to a place called Parker Canyon Lake. And on those trails, I'm blind in one eye, and I would still see these little cameras, like little iPhones, taped to trees and things that I was walking by. And I knew that the Border Patrol always knew where I was, because anytime I would cross a little 2-track road, a Border Patrol truck would go by, and, they wouldn't wave, they wouldn't smile. They just made eye contact with me and said, "Oh, it's that crazy old man out here." And so for the first 50 miles of the Arizona Trail, you're actually doing a big dog leg from Coronado National Monument over to a funky little town called Patagonia. Don't fail to stop there and go to the gathering grounds to eat. It's a cool place. So on the Pacific Crest Trail, you go down there, there's a wall, there's a Border Patrol guy standing there. But on the Arizona Trail at Coronado, they just built a wall. In fact, the trail was closed for a while so they could construct this crazy wall that keeps animals out but not people. And on the Continental Divide Trail, you probably will just see the wall down in the distance if you start at Crazy Cook Monument. If you start where I suggested in one of my last videos at Columbus, New Mexico, you'll see a wall and a huge complex there for security reasons now, and a lot of truck traffic going through there. If you were to go down to Antelope Wells in the bottom of the boot heel, again, I've showed you pictures of that complex down there. None of that was there in my day. Columbus, there was a kind of a mobile home, and Antelope Wells is like a ice shanty. But all that's changed now. Just north of Parker Canyon Lake, that if you were driving, a town you would hit is Sonoyta, Arizona. That's where the Border Patrol has a facility, and it's got everything from four-wheelers, trucks, cranes with, listening devices, maybe heat-seeking cameras. It's got everything. And so you really don't have to worry about your safety, because the most people you're going to run into, if you see people, they're going to be in uniform. I'm out here in Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument, southern Arizona, about 2 miles from a $13 billion useless wall that only changed biodiversity in this area. Anything with 4 legs can't get in, under, around, through. Anything with 2 legs just bought a taller ladder. So just as an example, when I started the Arizona Trail, I was at Parker Canyon Lake. There's a National Forest campground there, and I was thinking I was going to have to walk the 18-mile dirt road down to the monument from there. That was my plan. But I met some section hikers that had actually hired a 9-passenger bus to pick them up and take them down to the border, and I was able to pay him and get down there with them. But we still didn't get down there real early, so I got a late start. Had to go up over Miller Peak and then back to the canyon, Parker Canyon, which is about a 20-mile day. But I came in at night with my headlamp blazing, and when I hit the little dirt road that goes to the campground, I was swarmed by Border Patrol. They knew I was coming, I guess. I mean, I think there's plenty of cameras and whatever they use down there where they know where people are all the time. And why we needed to spend billions on a wall, I don't know. Because you're not going to see as much wildlife today in those areas. They just can't cross back and forth anymore. So the Coronado National Monument was actually picked for the beginning of the Arizona Trail 30 years ago because of its, wild and scenic nature, unencumbered views, the protection the park unit would actually give to the trailhead and the first part of the trail. But ironically, that didn't turn out to be the case because it allowed them to build, 2 miles of a 30-foot wall and a road in front of it so they can drive back and forth. Cameras, lights, action. It looks more like an industrial site now. So again, things change, but the whole point of this video is just to let you know that, don't freak out. It's safe down there. You'll have a military escort for the first 50 miles. Keep smiling.